Hi yogis! Here we are in a different location. We're at Robinson Community Gardens. So we chose to have a wonderful, beautiful practice outside. It's been my first practice outside this season, unfortunately. But fortunately too, we've had lots of wonderful time to spend indoors. We haven't really had a choice lately, so it's really nice to stretch our wings outside. So if you have a chance to get outside this week, it's supposed to be pretty nice. I think this is the best day. So to begin our practice today, let's start in a seated shape. Just bringing ourselves down to our mats or wherever you end up. Coming into a cross-legged position or kind of staggering the ankles a little bit so we feel a little more comfortability in our seat, maybe a little more spread in our sit bones, a little more spread in our thigh bones, and just taking a moment for yourself here to feel the balance between our sit bones, to feel a little bit of ease in the spine. Closing the eyes if that feels comfortable or useful for you. And just taking a moment for yourself to feel out where you are. Focusing the breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And as we inhale, breathing in through the upper chest. And as we exhale, just gently tugging the belly in toward the body. So inhale through the upper chest. And exhale to pull the belly in toward you. Feel a little bit of low back support. And just continue breathing a few breaths at your own pace. Feeling the shoulders relax with each exhale. Just feeling spaciousness with each inhale, a little bit of buoyancy in the top portion of the body, and a little bit of grounding through our base. And just taking one more breath at your own pace, in your own space. And with eyes open or closed, scoop our arms up toward the ceiling, great big sun breath, drawing the hands in toward the heart center. Just a couple more. Inhale, scooping those arms up, reach toward the sky, and exhale toward the center of the chest. One more time, big breath in, reach. And exhale, snuggle that sternum into the sternum in the center of the chest. Inhale, reaching up the arms, reach those fingers all the way up toward the ceiling, framing the ears with our biceps. Give a little gentle bend in the elbows to bring the shoulder blades back a little bit more toward each other. It's as if we're holding a giant invisible ball above our head. Another big breath. Feeling those shoulder blades stretch back behind your body. And we inhale, reach our arms all the way up, straightening up. And then exhale, hands through the center of the chest. Our next big scoop up, big reach. We're going to interlace the fingers, shine our palms toward the sky, and reach up through those palms. Stretching those arms nice and long. Inhale through the upper chest. Exhale, pull the belly in toward you to feel a little taller here. Inhale through the upper chest. And exhale, hinging over to the right side. Be careful to make sure we still feel equal balance in our sit bones. So pressing the left side sit bone away from you to feel grounded. And inhale back toward the center to lift those palms up. Exhale over toward the left side, encouraging the right hip down toward the earth to feel some balance and grounding equally toward both sit bones. Inhale, reaching up, those palms up. Exhale, turning them back in toward the center of the chest. Let's go ahead and interlace the fingers behind ourselves, lacing those fingers, drawing our fists toward our right side, finding our side waist. So just the part in between our hip bone and our rib cage. Inhaling through the upper chest and kind of knitting the rib cage in. So if we notice that back arm, our left arm, kind of presses our low back forward, let's try to resist that press and really breathe in through the upper chest. Tuck the belly in on your exhale and feel nice and tall through the spine. So pointing the right elbow out, just going to draw the right ear toward the right arm. Just letting gravity tug on our neck. And then pointing the nose down toward the right knee, just turning the face in that direction or having a little look at the right knee. Dipping the chin down in toward the chest, we'll remove the fists and bring them over to the left side. Again, finding the side waist, the little spot in between the hips and the ribs, pointing the left elbow out. And then going ahead and drawing the left elbow toward the left shoulder. Just letting gravity help us out here in this stretch. Beautiful. Next, inhale or exhale, drawing the nose toward the left knee, just looking in that direction, pointing the face toward the knee. And exhale, the chin in toward the chest. So release the arms, start to circle the arms up toward the ceiling, look up toward those hands, kiss the palms together, and draw them down toward the center of the chest. Beautiful. Let's have a walk forward into all fours, so coming into a tabletop shape. And making sure we have a little bit of softness for the knees if that's what we need. Make sure what you have is nice and safe for the knees. Let's go ahead and tuck the toes to find some stability here. Bringing the wrists under shoulders and the knees under hips, pressing the ground away from you to feel length in the arms, to feel perhaps a little bit of puffing up in between the shoulder blades. Feeling a external rotation in the upper arm bones, so we kind of feel them roll outward from the center. And then maybe you can find a good grip with the knees and kind of pull them apart from each other slightly to feel a little bit of width in our sit bones. So let's take a nice inhale to dip the tail open, to drop the belly, lift the heart and chin forward. And then as we exhale, tuck the tail in round the spine, tuck the chin in toward the chest, press the ground away from you. Inhale, dipping the tail back up, dropping the belly, pull the mat toward you slightly to maybe help with this little back bend. And then exhale as we round the tail in, round the spine, gather everything in toward the core, toward the center. Just a couple more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, flipping the tail, let the lower portion of the rib cage fall down toward the earth. Gather the heart and the chin and the chest forward. Exhale, dipping the tail in, feeling the wave of the spine, the movement of the spine, just like the wind all around us right now. Coming back to a neutral shape here. Let's go ahead and tuck the toes if they aren't already. If we prefer to have them untucked, that's okay. Lifting the hips up and back, pressing in toward the heels, lengthening out the arms and coming into our first downward dog here. So we're going to find a nice grip in each fingertip and each fingerprint, feeling the majority of the weight pour toward the pointer finger and the thumb. So just feeling a little bit of extra weight into that thumb pad. Feeling the heel of the hand, noticing the spread of the fingers. Taking an inhale through the upper chest. Exhale, tug the belly in toward you to see if you can tilt the tail a little bit higher. Wonderful. Pressing the heels away from the hips. Feeling long in the back of the legs. Take another big inhale here. And exhale, pull the belly in toward you. Coming through just a couple flows here. So let's gather ourselves forward on our inhale, coming into a plank shape, drawing the shoulders over the wrists. Perhaps you'd like to lower the knees down. That's absolutely accessible for you. Feel free to do that. Let's press the ground away with those arms. Feel again that puffing up in between the shoulder blades. So almost as if you're gathering the rib cage up in toward the body. And we have that incline in our legs, if our legs are lifted. Another big inhale here. And exhale, push through those toes, lean as far forward as you possibly can until you feel a little resistance in the wrists, and then start to bend the elbows, continue sending the shoulders forward and lower yourself down. Untuck the toes, pull the mat toward you to peel the gaze up and come into a little back bend. Exhale to lower ourselves back down to the earth. Tuck the toes, inhale, exhale up and back to downward dog. Let's pedal those heels a couple times. We'll go through that vinyasa flow a couple times nice and slow. So let's take our inhale and exhale. Inhale toward our hands to plank, shoulders over wrists, press the ground away, knit the ribcage in, and exhale, lower on down. Inhale, peel the gaze, untuck the toes. And exhale back down to earth. Tuck our toes, inhale, and exhale back to a downward dog shape. Pedal the heels if you'd like to take your dog for a little walk, if that feels nice for you. And then we'll do one more flow coming forward on your inhale. Exhale, push through those toes, bend the elbows, send the shoulders forward and lower down. Inhale, peel the gaze. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, and exhale back to downward dog. Pedal those heels, sway those hips. Take a moment for yourself here. Let's go ahead and lower the knees down, coming into a tabletop shape, into an all fours shape. Shoulders underneath or over top of the wrists and knees underneath of the hips. Take a moment to sway the hips back and forth. Inhale, send the right leg behind yourself, nice and long, pressing through the ball of the foot. Just feeling really long in the leg. Pressing down with the hands and away from the body as you reach the ball of the foot backward to feel the torso become a little bit longer, to feel the belly stretch a little bit longer. Beautiful. Another inhale as you reach the ball of the foot away from yourself. And then exhale, drawing the knee to the outside of the arm. So the same arm pointing the toe, getting it up as high as you possibly can. And then inhale, press through the ball of the foot to extend the leg. Exhale, knee toward the elbow. And inhale, extend the leg. One more time, exhale. And inhale. Wonderful. Set that knee back down, coming back into that all fours shape. Inhale to extend the left leg behind yourself. Pressing through the ball of the foot. Again, pressing through the ground with the hands and kind of pushing the mat away from yourself as you reach the foot behind yourself to feel some length in the torso. To feel the rib cage peel away from the hips. Take another inhale. And then exhale, knee to the outside of the arm. So up toward the shoulder if you can get it that high. And then inhale, extend the leg. Exhale, knee comes in toward the arm. Inhale, extend. One more time to gather it in. And inhale to extend the leg out. Setting the knee back down, let's go ahead and tuck the toes if they aren't already. Send our hips up and back to our downward dog shape. Pedal the heels, press into those palms, breathing into the upper chest. Exhale, tucking the belly in to feel a little more of a tilt in the tail. Beautiful. Inhale the right leg up and back, pushing through the ball of the foot. Exhale, knee toward the chest, up through between those hands. Coming up on the fingertips, inhale to straighten the back. And exhale to plant the palms back down, stepping back to a plank shape. Take a moment here to feel out the plank. Inhale in your plank. Exhale to push forward and lower down. Inhale, cobra, or some sort of back bend that we feel good about. Exhale to lower down. Inhale and exhale back to a downward dog shape. Let's pedal the heels, sway the hips, do what you like to do here. And then we'll inhale the left leg up and back. Exhale the knee toward the chest, stepping through between those hands. Inhale up on the fingertips to flatten out the back. And exhale to plant those palms and step back to a plank shape. Finding those wrists under shoulders. Take a moment here to inhale. Exhale, push forward and lower down. Inhale, peel the gaze up. And exhale, lower down to earth. Inhale, exhale back to downward dog. Let's pedal those heels a couple times, go for a little walk. And then looking between our thumbs, let's hop our step toward those hands into a forward fold shape. So going ahead and just letting the torso hang nice and heavy. Bend the knees if you find there's a little bit of tightness in the back of the legs. And just let the crown of the head drop heavy down toward the earth. Perhaps it feels nice to hold on to opposite elbows here, or linking the hands to the nape of the neck. Maybe it feels good just to let those arms hang nice and heavy. Let's take a few breaths here. Breathing in through the back of the body, sending the breath toward the shoulders, toward the spine, the side body. Beautiful. Take one more breath here. And we'll inhale a halfway lift, bringing the hands to the shins, breathing in through the upper chest. Exhale, tucking the belly in and folding forward, maybe a little deeper this time. Inhale, a half lift. And exhale, scoop the belly in as you fold a little deeper. Inhale, big tall stretch coming all the way up. Reach those fingertips up. And exhale through the heart center. Again, inhale, reach those arms up nice and tall. And exhale, forward fold. Let yourself come all the way back down. Inhale, a half lift. And exhale to fold deeply. Beautiful. Plant those palms down. So maybe you'd like to bend the knees a little bit deeper so you can plant those palms in front of the feet. Feel free to hop or step back to a plank shape, depending on what is part of your practice. So let's find an inhale in our plank pose. Exhale, push ourselves forward and lower down. Inhale, a back bend of your choice, perhaps an upward dog, maybe a baby cobra. And then inhale and exhale back to your downward dog. Pedaling those heels, sway the hips. So inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale the knee toward the chest, stepping through between those hands. Turning out the back toes, planting through the heel, bending through the front knee, scooping the arms up, coming into a warrior one shape. Perhaps you'd like to take the foot a little bit wider to make space for those hips. Reaching up with the fingertips, knitting the ribcage in toward the body, and pushing through the back heel as best we can. Beautiful. Let's take another big inhale as you reach the arms up tall. And then exhale, just hinging forward, pushing through the back foot, letting a little bit of the weight come into the front leg. Beautiful. Inhale, push through the front foot to raise ourselves back up. And then exhale, releasing those hands right in toward the inside of that right leg. Coming on the ball of the foot of the left foot, lowering the left knee, planting the left palm, reaching the right arm up and coming into a twisted shape. Hugging in that right thigh in toward the center line. Pressing through the left hand to reach the right arm up as high as we can, opening up the chest. One more. Beautiful. Inhale as we reach. Exhale, scooping that arm back toward the inside of the right leg, picking up the left knee and stepping back to a downward dog. Pedal it out. Take a moment. Inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale the knee toward the chest, stepping through between those hands, coming into that lunge shape. Turning out the right toes, planting through the right heel, bending through the left knee, coming up into warrior one, scooping those arms up nice and high, sitting down in the hips, reaching up through the rib cage, knitting them in toward the body, pushing through the back heel. Take another inhale here. And exhale, leaning ourselves forward, pushing into the back heel, allowing a little extra weight to come into the front quad muscle. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, dripping ourselves down in between in the inside of our left leg. So if you need to wiggle it out, feel free to take a moment. Turning onto the ball of the right foot, setting the right knee down, planting through the right palm, and reaching up through the left arm. Coming into a twist on the other side, hugging the thigh in toward you, lifting the ribcage away from the hips. Press through our planted palm, take one more breath. Beautiful. Inhale as you reach. And exhale, bringing that arm back down and toward the inside of that leg. Extending our right knee a little bit here so we can step back into a downward dog shape. So pedaling it out a little bit here. And sway the hips back and forth. Beautiful. Coming forward into our plank shape. Shoulders over wrists. Push the ground away. Feel a little bit of puffing in between the shoulder blades. Inhale again. Exhale, push through those toes to lower down, bend the elbows. Inhale, a back bend of your choice. And exhale to lower all the way down toward the ground. Inhale and exhale back to a downward dog shape. Let's take a moment to pedal for yourself. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Beautiful. So lower our knees down, widen those knees if you'd like to, maybe bringing them closer together if we want to protect our low back. But if we'd like to open up the hips a little more, feel free to open up those legs, walking our hands forward, coming into a child's pose shape. Reaching the arms forward and just feeling a lot of length through the low back. Perhaps reaching the hands forward and pressing down toward the ground, to feel a little more of that sensation. Maybe taking the hands a little bit wider than the shoulders as you reach forward and press down, feeling a little more width in the shoulder blades, a little more broadness underneath and into the chest. And starting to walk our hands over toward the right side of the mat. Maybe you find crossing the left hand over the right hand helps you secure that arm and feel just a little more length in the left side. Just taking a breath here. And our next inhale, go back toward the center. Find those arms nice and wide, a little wider than the shoulders. Reaching the fingers forward and pressing down toward the ground. And then the next inhale to walk our hands over toward the left side this time, as far as you'd like to go, and maybe crossing the right hand over the left hand to feel a little more width and space, maybe a little more space between our shoulder and our rib cage. Beautiful. Let's come back toward the center. Walk our hands toward ourselves, coming into a tabletop shape. Again, find a little softness if you need it. Take your time, sway your hips. And then we'll add a little more into our flow that we tried before. So let's go ahead on our next inhale, extending our right leg behind ourselves. And then finding a little more challenge here. So perhaps you'd like to tuck the left set of toes, just to find a little more security here. Reaching the left arm forward, the left fingertips forward, the toes back, the ball of the foot back. Finding a really long line all the way from the tip of the finger to the tip of the toe. Taking a great big inhale as you reach as far as you possibly can. Press down with the right palm. And then exhale, knee toward the elbow under the body. Inhale to reach. And exhale to gather the knee toward the elbow. Let's do a couple more. Inhale, reach. And exhale to gather. Inhale to reach. And exhale to gather. Inhale, extend, hold that extension. Take a moment here. Perhaps staying here feels as active as we need. Pulling the core in toward the body, feeling everything gather in toward the center line. Pressing the right palm away from the ground. Maybe bending the right knee, reaching back with the left hand, finding either the top of the foot or the ankle, pressing the top of the foot or the ankle into the hand, and raising up the quad a little bit here. Finding a gentle back bend. Maybe we choose to send our rib cage forward, to send our gaze forward, and find a little more of a back bend. Let's take two more here. Beautiful. With all the control we can possibly muster, release the leg, release the arm, bring the knee back down, and take a moment to switch the hips side to side. Beautiful. Couple cat-cows in our transition, so let's go ahead and send our tail up on the inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest and chin. And exhale to gather the tail in, round the spine. One more round, inhale, the tail lifts. And then exhale, we gather everything back in toward the center. Back to all fours, pressing the ground away, making sure we're in our safe structure here. Sending the left leg behind yourself, pushing through the ball of the foot. Just notice here. Maybe tucking the right set of toes if we felt that useful. Extending the right arm if we want to add a little bit of balance here. Reaching fingers away from toes, toes away from fingers. Pressing through the ground with the left hand. Just taking a moment here to feel and to notice the core strength of your body, that everything gathers in toward the center line, even with the load-bearing weight. Inhale to reach. Exhale, knee to the elbow under the body. Inhale to reach. Exhale to gather in. Inhale and exhale. One more, reaching tall, reaching far, and exhale, gathering in. Beautiful, reach, release the arm, release the leg, bring the knees down in line, the wrists in line, switch the hips. Inhale, the tail lifts, we drop the belly, lift the chest and chin, and exhale, gathering in. Just one more cat-cow shape. Inhale as we lift. And exhale as we gather it in. Beautiful. Planting through those palms, let's tuck our toes, send our hips up and back to a downward dog shape. Pedal those heels. And take 2 more breaths here. Experimenting, pressing the ground away, feeling that equal distribution of weight in the hands to begin with, and then a little bit extra weight in toward our pointer finger and the thumb. Wonderful. Drawing ourselves forward into a plank pose, bringing the right knee down toward the ground. Let's kickstand the lower half of the leg out, coming onto the inside of the left leg, turning ourselves into a little bit of a side plank variation, drawing the left arm up toward the ceiling. Perhaps we look up toward the left hand, maybe we look down toward our planted hand. Pressing through our extended leg, maybe reaching the arm alongside the ear. Reaching fingers away from our foot. Feel that left side body open up as much as we can. Maybe we turn this into just a little bit of a different variation, drawing the palm to the back of the head, wrapping the elbow in toward the face, and then starting to send the chest open, resting the head in toward the hand. So just a little baby back bend or the sensation of a twist here. Sending the elbow forward to the corner of your mat. One more big breath here, chest open, rest the head into the hand. Beautiful. Sending the right hand back, or the left hand back down, coming on the ball of the foot of the left foot, stepping back into a plank shape. Bringing the wrists under shoulders, take a moment here for yourself. We'll work through just a couple of vinyasa flows. So let's inhale, exhale to lower. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, back down to earth, tuck those toes, come up and back to downward dog, pedal those heels. Beautiful. The next time we come forward, let's bring our left knee down this time, kickstanding the lower half of the leg out, making sure you have room. And then starting to secure ourselves with the right foot, pushing into the inside of the right foot, shifting our weight over to the left palm, and reaching the right arm up toward the sky. So a nice little side plank here with a little bit of support. Reaching the arm alongside the ear to feel even more length and openness in our right side body. Pushing the foot away from the fingers are reaching away from the foot. Just staying here if this feels nice for you. For a little bit of a different sensation, maybe bending the elbow, bringing the hand to the back of the neck, wrapping the elbow in toward the face, and then starting to open up the heart, setting the head into the hands, and pointing the tip of the elbow toward the end of your mat. So just feeling a little more sideways stretch. Beautiful. Just one more nice big breath. Wonderful. To release the right arm back down toward the ground, step back into a plank shape. So let's feel out the plank here. Feel free to lower the knees if you'd like to. Press the ground away. Let's take a great big inhale. And exhale as we lower on down. Inhale, peel the gaze. And exhale to lower on down. Inhale and exhale back to our last downward dog shape. Pedal those heels, sway the hips. Walk the feet in if you'd like to feel a little more length in the backs of the legs. Feeling nice and powerful in this position, feeling lots of length in our belly, lots of space between our hips and our ribs. Just one more nice big breath here. See if we can breathe in through the upper chest. Exhale to pull the belly in, to tilt the tail a little more. Wonderful. Coming back forward into our plank shape, maybe lowering the knees. Pressing the ground away, puffing out the inner portion of the shoulder blades, feeling the rib cage knit in toward the body. And let's lower ourselves all the way down to the ground. So push forward, lower down on your exhale. Finding the lower half of the rib cage, keeping those palms tucked in. Secure those elbows in toward the side body. Start to press into the tops of the feet. We'll press a little bit firm into the tops of the feet so you feel a lot of support in the low back. So kind of pointing the toes away and pressing down. Maybe we find we could lift the hands up off the ground. Maybe we keep them touched down. But finding that sort of pelvis area, that area between the hips and the rib cage, to see if we can balance here, lifting the shoulders up off the ground. Maybe we find we can sneak our arms alongside our body and pointing the thumbs to the ground, pinkies to the sky. So we can see, making sure we still have a lot of security in our low back, a lot of support through our lower half of the body. Pointing the toes away, pressing into the ground. Pressing the fingertips toward those toes to keep the chest lifted. Beautiful. So inhale, scoop those arms forward, reach. Exhale, gather something invisible and draw the elbows back toward the rib cage. Beautiful. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, pull back. Inhale, lengthen those arms. Exhale, elbows toward the ribs. 2 more. Inhale to reach. Press those feet into the ground. Exhale, elbows in. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Bring those palms back under the shoulders and start to slide the palms back in line with the rib cage. Tuck the toes and see if we can zip our elbows in, pull the shoulders away from the ears, press the ground away, tuck the toes nice and firm, and press right up into a plank shape. Beautiful. Exhale, downward dog. Let's pedal those heels. I lied. Guess we had 1 more downward dog in our future. So just loosening out whatever we need to, swaying the hips. We'll draw the knees down toward the ground. Let's go ahead and bring the legs, the lower half of the legs to the one side so we can lengthen out the legs in front of our body. Coming into a staff shape. So our feet maybe are hip width apart, maybe they're zipped together. That's your choice and your body and modification for you. Making sure we flex through the heels, we point the toes up toward the ceiling. Just gently have the sensation of pressing the backs of the knees down toward the ground so we can feel a little bit more lift in the rib cage, a little bit more height. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Let's inhale, scoop the arms up, big reach. And exhale, hands toward the center of the chest. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, settling into the center of the chest. Securing those fingers into our sternum, letting the shoulders sink away from the ears. Breathing in through the upper chest. Exhale, scooping the belly in. And staying where we are and just feeling it out, seeing if we can keep our torso exactly where it is. We start to bend the knees, draw the soles of the feet together, kiss those soles of the feet together, maintain the height in the spine. Just feel that leg shift. A little bit of movement. Beautiful. Bringing the hands down to the tips of our toes or to the ankles. We'll interlace the fingers at the tips of the toes if our arms are pretty long. If we like to hang on to the ankles, if we find we have a little bit of rounding through the low back, we can feel free to hold on to the ankles. Let's go ahead and send the chest forward, lifting the rib cage away from the hips. Allowing a tilt in the pelvis or tilt in the tailbone, kind of flaring the tail outward. Beautiful. Just take a couple big breaths here, sending the heart forward, sending the tail back, increasing a little bit of that hip hinge. 1 more. Beautiful. Releasing the toes, releasing the hands. Start to round ourselves in. So we'll just make a little more space for our arms or for our pelvis. So let's bring those heels a little bit away from our hips just to create a little more diamond shape. And we'll allow our spine to round here. So just rounding all the way in into a little package. If it feels good for you to bring the arms long and over top of the legs, feel free to do that. But if it feels nice and cozy for you to kind of snuggle the forearms underneath the legs, underneath the lower half of the legs, feel free to do that. Just kind of drawing the chin in toward the chest. And breathing through the back body. And feeling those shoulder blades seep away from each other. And then snuggle back in. And the neck lengthens out. Take 2 more nice deep breaths here wherever we ended up. Maybe our arms are extended over top of our legs. Maybe they're tucked underneath. And starting to walk the hands toward yourself, or kind of slipping those hands out from underneath the lower halves of the legs, raising our chest back up, extending the legs back into our staff pose. Taking another big breath here, and notice if there's any change in the tilt of our tail. As we inhale, scoop the arms up. And exhale, hands toward the center of the chest. One more big inhale, reach. And exhale through the center of the chest. Bending through the left knee, let's draw the left foot on toward the inside of the right leg. So maybe we like to snuggle it nice and close in toward the groin, if that feels nice for you to have that opened up. We're just going to face that extended leg, reaching our arms up on our inhale. Exhale, scoop the belly in, support the low back, hinge through the hips and the heart toward the toes. Letting the arms fall down wherever they meet the ground, wherever they meet the leg. Sending our tail outward, sending our heart forward. Maybe a gentle bend in the knee. Just going down as far as you can, just to keep and maintain that nice long spine. So it doesn't matter how far we dip down, just looking for the sensation of the tail tilting outward and the rib cage coming forward. Lots of length in our soft belly. Beautiful. Walking our hands toward ourselves, switching legs, just extending our left leg, drawing the right leg in, bringing the foot in toward close to the groin if that felt comfortable for you, or in the same position that you put on the other side. Making sure we sort of face our extended leg, bring the arms up to reach on the inhale. And as we exhale, we scoop the belly in, find a hinge in the hips and the heart toward the toes, and then release the arms once we feel a slight bit of rounding in the spine. So maintaining that nice long back. It doesn't matter how far we go. You may find it useful to bend the knee slightly to find a little bit of softness, or even pressing the heel toward the ground and kind of pulling it toward you to find a little more hinge in the hip. Inhale through the upper chest. And exhale to scoop the belly in. And then inhale to walk ourselves back up. Beautiful. Extending both legs. I'm going to go ahead and cross the left ankle over the right ankle. Bring our arms up with us, big reach. And then exhale, fold over those legs. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Let's try the other way. So we're just going to cross our right ankle over our left ankle, flexing both heels, reaching the arms up on the inhale. Then the hinge, bring the belly in. On the exhale, hinging over those legs. Inhale, reaching the arms up. And exhale, hands toward the heart center. Beautiful. Uncrossing those legs, taking a moment here to feel our balance in our hips. Start to bend the knees enough so our feet plant down. So just bending until our feet touch the ground or touch our yoga mats. So finding that little balancing point on the base of the spine so we can kind of lean back and find a little balance. You might even find you could lift your legs up off the ground if you found that little spot. It's kind of that magical little balancing spot. We'll lean back, draw those shoulders back in line with the hips. So that might be a little more difficult of an idea, but imagine we're just on an angle here. So we're kind of leaning back, engaging our core quite a lot so that we can lean back a little bit more. Framing the legs if that feels nice for you, or just kind of tickling the backs of the legs to give yourself that very slight bit of support. Beautiful. Let's take another big breath in our boat pose. And then as we inhale, holding the shins on the outside, so extending the arms, touching the shins. Let's inhale, send the heart forward, tilt the tail back, lift the chin and chest forward. And then as we exhale, holding onto the shins, still rounding the spine, tucking the chin into the chest. 2 more times, inhale, or 1 more time for each. Inhale, coming forward. And exhale, rounding back. Coming back into our neutral shape, back into our boat shape. Make sure we have lots of room here about the center of our mat. Leaning back, finding a nice long spine here, framing our legs. Nice little boat pose here. Wonderful. Let's take one more nice big breath here. Maybe we lift the legs, maybe we just focus on that core strength. Wonderful. Bring your hands to the backs of our shins, bring our feet together. Let's go ahead and roll ourselves onto our backs. Coming all the way onto our backs, let's go ahead and bring the knees in toward the chest. Just snuggle yourself in, maybe rocking back and forth. Maybe we'll make circles with those knees. You could hang on to them if you'd like to, or let them go. Beautiful. Kissing the soles of our feet together, letting the knees fall away from one another, and placing the hands on the insides of the thighs. And just feeling that warmth in our palms, the warmth in the cupped hands on our thighs. Maybe there's a slight bit of change in our hips or low back. Just taking a couple more breaths here. Peaceful, steady breaths. Just noticing whatever there's to notice, and taking a little bit of time to feel whatever there is to feel. There's always some sort of change, some kind of difference, or maybe something familiar comes back. Just give yourself the space to discover and to notice. Let's be a little more easy on ourselves, a little more compassion toward our bodies. Beautiful. Bringing the hands on the outsides of the thighs. Let's close our knees like a book and walk the feet out toward the edges of the yoga mat, letting the knees tent toward each other. Bringing the hands to our belly. Maybe they're on top of one another, maybe they're staggered, and just noticing and feeling the warmth and love in our cupped hands. Even with the chaos around us, finding a little bit of stillness and peace within. Then just bring your knees in toward the chest. Let's cross the ankles and rock alongside the spine just a couple times. We'll come up to a seated shape when we feel ready. So take your time. Find ourselves back into our easeful seat. Closing the eyes, and maybe we find our seat is so much more comfortable than it was in the beginning. Hands in our laps or on our knees. Breathing into the upper chest. Exhale to pull the belly in toward you and notice all of that core strength that you have created throughout this practice. Again, taking some time to notice and to feel. Feel the groundness, the rootedness through our tails, through our hips, and our thighs, and the lower half of the body. And then feel a little bit of lightness and buoyancy in the top portion of the body, lightness and buoyancy in the head and shoulders and the rib cage. Freeing everything away from being stagnant or stuck in the body. Unraveling Bring our hands in toward our heart center, connecting those fingers and those palms, releasing the shoulders. And a big inhale, arms come up above. Exhale, hands through the heart center. Let's do one more big reach up. And exhale toward the heart center. It's going through one more little twist to bring ourselves out a little bit, bringing the right arm to the outside of the left thigh, scooping the left arm up alongside the ear, and just letting yourself lean over to the right. Beautiful. Let's bring that left arm back up and around. Cross over to the other side, the left hand on the outside of the right thigh, the right arm alongside the ear. We reach up. We're just going to lean over toward the left side. And back toward the center. Release both hands. Let's take our hands to our heart center. Take a moment to thank yourself for your practice today. Taking one last scan through the body. I invite you to take one last sun breath with me. Arms come up and exhale toward the heart center. Placing one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Taking a really big breath in and out. My heart is at ease, knowing what's meant for me will not pass me by, and what passes me by was not meant for me. Big sun breath to end our practice. Snuggling the hands into the center of the chest. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.